flames of violence.
Politicians must respect the fundamental rights of opponents and perceived opponents, particularly the right to life, freedom of speech, association, and the freedom to impart and disseminate ideas and knowledge. If we allow violence to stifle these rights, then we can say goodbye to our fledgling democracy.
So there you have the former NBA president, Joseph Daudu, and the former Commonwealth scribe, Chief Emeka Nyonko, all speaking up about this. Now, not just both of them, we've had a lot of people who have spoken up about this. But lately, what we see play out in the field, almost completely different from what they say. Let's go over to Mr. Sam Omatseye, the chairman, editorial board of The Nation newspapers, and also a columnist. Thank you for joining us today. Good evening.
It's my pleasure. Good evening.
Looking at all of this, I mean, tons of reports, materials, and then they date back in time about how we've had to grapple with one form of violence or, hate comments coming through from different quarters over time. What, in your view, can be the possible way out of all of this? First, why do these things happen, do you think?
Well, the things happen because politics is seen as an end game of violence and an end game of personal interest. And so long as we continue to see politics as a vehicle to further our nests and also to boost our personal egos, these things are going to continue because we are running a society devoid of the essential values of society. Politics will not give us values. Values have to inform politics. But we have it the other way. So you cannot use the vehicle of politics to entrench the values of society. Your politics is supposed to be used to enhance and to pursue values that are already ingrained in the society. So that is the problem.
All right, I should have done this a little earlier, actually, but our correspondent is standing by in Abuja. Let me move over to where she will join us via Skype. Sarah, hello, Sarah. You were today at the briefing with the Independent National Electoral Commission. What are they saying this time?
Well, the National Commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission in charge of investigation and vote application. So Chris talked about the readiness of the Independent National Commission to conduct a free and fair polls. He talked about the distribution of the permanent voters voter card, which he put at, he said collection is now at 55 million Nigerians have so far collected their PVCs, while about 1 million Nigerians are yet to collect theirs. He used the occasion to appeal to them to come forward and ensure that they get their PVCs before 8th of March. He also talked about the need for the IDPs to exercise their rights during the polls, which he says that the Commission is working assiduously to ensure that their rights is exercised in this period.
Well, did they talk about the tests for those, the card readers, which they were supposed to have done some time ago?
Yes, he did. The exercise is scheduled for Friday this week, and it's going to hold in 2 states of each of the geopolitical zones. And he says that all resident electoral commissioners have been notified on this, and they're going to work with traditional rulers as well as religious leaders to ensure that the process is a success.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. Well done. Well, our correspondent Sarah speaking to us live from Abuja. Let me get back to this, Mr. Omatseye. So many reports have been put in place about what happened after the elections, how people responded. But in all of those recommendations, I mean, they could almost form a book. But from what we've seen now, we're still having this challenge in our hands. Many have talked about, look, other than the values, what about this mindset that we have in our politics where the presidential system, almost as though winner takes all?
It's a winner takes all, but the problem is not with the presidential system. You know, people have been talking about using the prime minister, the parliamentary system, and all of that. The parliamentary system gave us a civil war. The problem is not in the document. The problem is in the people. It's in the values of the people and the leadership of the country, whether it's in terms of political parties, in terms of religious organizations, in terms of cultural bodies and so on. We have not been able to arrange for ourselves a society in which a set of standards of the moral kind or spiritual kind, if you like, are put in place in order for us to say this is where to go, this is the limit, and these are the sanctions. And when there are sanctions, they are really sanctions in order to tell the people that this is the way to go. But in our society, you do one thing, one violence, and another violence is used to repay you. So that is the way we have been running this country forever. And we cannot overnight say that we're going to install an atmosphere of civility. As if civility jumps